Andy, can
Yeah.
I ask Fernando about his, we already kind of talked about your struggles initially when you first started out, but if you had it to do over again, what would you change? Because we have a lot of newbies on the call. And so do you have any advice for the newbies if you had it to do over again, what you would change?
What I would change. Let's see. Okay, so I mentioned we had a mentor in the beginning. I think that was huge. And I would have continued to hire mentors throughout the process. I think, as you continue to grow, we always talk about me and my business partners, like, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I think that's like so huge. And so now it's funny, we had it in the beginning, then there was like 3 years where we didn't have a coach. And then now we hired another like high level coach to help us get to that 100 million mark. And I think we would have probably got there a lot faster if we had just kept hiring coaches throughout the process to help us get to that next stage. I think that's a big thing. I think if you're really focused on Amazon, like focus on Amazon and like don't get distracted. It's so easy. There's so many shiny objects or squirrel syndrome, you were saying. And I think like that's like the biggest thing is that like the fastest way to grow is to launch more brands. And like in my opinion.
And that's a really great answer. Do you have any advice for vetting coaches? Because a lot of people have been scammed by coaches, so obviously me and Andy both offer coaching services.
You read my mind on that, Amy. I was literally going to ask that same exact question. Like, how are you vetting? How are you finding your coaches?
That's a good question. I mean, that's really tough. I think, so I guess, coaching is probably something where you meet them like, more one-on-one, I think a lot of the time. And so either asking the smartest questions you can or finding somebody that's a little bit ahead of you and maybe having them interview them and like really trying to make sure like, okay, if you're trying to find a, PPC coach, then like find whoever is your best friend that like knows PPC really well and maybe have them hop on the call with you and make sure that they ask like, smarter questions too. One, you're going to learn in the process. And then two, we get that like verification. Like, so like, truthfully, like, we know Amazon really well, but we don't know off Amazon marketing very well at all. And so when we were bringing our VP of marketing, like that's going to like run like a lot of our Facebook ads and ManyChat and stuff like that. Like we could have just gone through and tried to do our best interview, but it's ended going to be a cultural interview because we don't have like the smartest question. So instead, in the final round, we actually had one of our friends, as a Facebook expert, interviewer. And like, I think that was just like a better strategy than us like kind of guessing, is that we just get somebody else to do that more important interview, like that more technical interview. And yeah, that's kind of like been our approach.